man. It's
Absolutely.
It's bragging rights. It's bragging rights.
When was the Black Diamond Trophy? I don't remember that. When
I
think it started in 2003, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Even before that, maybe about 97.
You know what? I think but the trophy didn't look like it did now. I think we had it as well.
That's a pretty trophy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, look pretty was me next to it. Oh, I look good, Bees. I look good next to that Black Diamond trophy. It had me all over it. What are you eating?
Why are you eating?
Because I got 9 seconds.
Oh, you got
I got the munchies. I got 24/7 munchies, man. Don't bother me.
Oh, okay. I see.
Oh. Avon Colburn is in the house.
Give me that. Give me those cookies.
How did you get on here? That's Mike Logan.
Aaron Beasley. Uh-oh.
Ain't no waiting for the day. Like a long
There's the band.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can try to hide. You can try to run. I can't sense. I smell the blood.
Big Joe.
I'm coming for you.
Steady B.
I'm coming for you.
Hokies!
Blacksburg. Tough place to play.
Totally.
Hi, my name is James Committer, and I'm from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. And when I'm back home in the Pittsburgh area, you can find me at my local farmer's store.
We had that golden boot pride at Parmar. There are literally hundreds of Parmar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Parmar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Parmar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be.
Fonzie looks like the Undertaker walking into
Where the true gold and blue faithful go for the best in beer, burgers, pizza, wings, and more? It's the Mountaineer Tap House on the Evansdale campus. Mountaineer Tap House features well over 40 craft beers on tap, plus the best appetizers, salads, burgers, wings, pizza, and tacos the University City has to offer. Enjoy their exclusive craft cocktails too. Dine on the balcony or chill out inside with walls and walls of TVs. Follow Mountaineer Tap House on social media. Mountaineer Tap House, second floor above the Parmar store on the Evansdale campus.
Yes. Hello, Mountaineer Nation. Hello, my friends, our friends, and welcome to Mountaineer Legends Pregame. I have some really special legends here for you today. Coming in store, we're going to come in shifts, come around. They might all come on. You might see him dropping in, dropping out, whatever it might be. But first, I got welcome to Mountaineer Legends Pregame with me, the Wolfman, and Big Joe's over here, Brian Joswick. Joe's, how you doing today?
Brother, I'm doing great down here in Charleston, West Virginia, brother. Oh, man, I'm telling you, the Red Carpet Lounge is going to be the place tonight, Wolf. And, hey, we're getting ready for this Virginia Tech game. We've been gearing up for this for weeks, and this is a big one for us. So, wait, we're excited. Got some good guys here going to hang out and just enjoy the Mountaineer fans down here in Charleston. Hey, if you're not in Blacksburg, this is going to be the place to be for sure.
Yeah, what are you, about an hour and a half away anyways, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Well, listen, look at this. Oh, look at it right now. He's got the Parmar logo right above his head. It is Avon Colburn, number 1.
What's up? What's going on? Hey, I appreciate you having me on here. Look here to talk some Mountaineer football. I'm blessed and honored, man, to be around these legends, man. Seen the intro with Joes and B's and Mays making plays. I said, man, look at this. I mean, you guys are old.
You know what? I can't even argue with that. All you have to do is look at Joe's, and we know you can't argue that one. So that's good. Bees, how we doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm sorry I missed the trip. I was supposed to be down there with you guys, but sometimes the car just don't want to go. But it's pissed me off because that's an $80,000 car and it just cut off in the middle of the highway, But I'll be here in spirit and share some of my knowledge with you guys and my PhD in D-backology. You're right.
So you're going to drop some knowledge on us, the average, us offensive linemen, or maybe Major Harris right there. He's driving. Like I told Mage, Mage, keep looking at the road, man. We don't want you driving off the road right
now. Yeah.
Right on. So, okay, let's get it. This is Virginia Tech. This is Hokie. We don't like Virginia Tech Hokies. And the thing is, we're in Blacksburg. We have not been to Blacksburg since 2004. 2004. Black Diamond Trophy, again, is in possession of the Mountaineers, and it needs to stay in possession of the Mountaineers. Now, we all know how difficult it is to win in Plattsburgh because it's a hornet's nest. It's a hornet's nest, and our young Mountaineer brothers need to be prepared because I don't know if they've ever
seen. You throwing shots right now? Are you throwing shots right now? Talking about they need to be prepared?
Yes,
they throwing shots.
Absolutely, they do, and it's going to be a battle, man, a gridiron war, and they better get ready because I know all of you have been in that battle and have given what you've had to give to get out of Blacksburg and get out there with a victory because it is tough. Well, let's start it off. Yes, Joseph.
Well, I was just going to say, the good news is we got a big taste of it in week 1 with the Pitt game, that national stage, a Thursday night game, a big rivalry game. So those guys had some of that experience. Hopefully that plays into the game tonight a little bit, because this is a national stage. It's the only game on the show tonight for a Thursday night game. So, the stage is set. If they're not prepared, shame on them.
Well, let me ask you this: when you're talking national stage and being involved or being at a stadium, I don't think there is a stadium louder than Blacksburg. And I'm being honest with you. And I mean, Bees, you can talk NFL, you can talk other. I don't think I've ever been in a stadium louder than. I mean, we all can talk different stadiums. I mean, I've never been to Penn State, but I know when I went to Blacksburg, that place is always electric.
Yeah, there's no doubt when you think about it. Lane Stadium, I mean, I remember going out there, and back in our day, they had the student section right behind the bench, right there. They were just sitting there and just being unmerciful to any player that did not have any dirt on their pants or on their uniform because they would just sit there and rip. Please, what are your memories down there at Lane Stadium?
It was funny. That was my first start. And I just remember being in the locker room and just the people stomping the whole time that you're under there, because you're like you said, we're right under that student section, and the smallest locker room you could imagine, like 80 guys coming into, and just hostility, because that's when I think that was the first year of the Big East. And the rivalry was already there, and it's just like that border means something to those people down there. It's just like once you cross that border, you're in Hokie land.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Mage, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, Mage, what is your memories of Lane Stadium down there in Blacksburg and playing the Virginia Tech Hokies?
When you first start thinking of like Ohio State, Michigan, their fans, and playing and go to different places and go to their stadium, and they got, you know what I mean? And that's the Virginia Tech, like, man, just as crazy as country. And, just Coach Beamer, it was known for special teams. So, yeah, it was there. It was tough to play at. The fans was crazy.
Okay. All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And, here's the absolute thing. The offense of the Mountaineers is clicking right now. The defense, we're a little bit concerned about, not sure how they're going to play. They played well against the Pittsburgh Panthers, and they played well against a team that was a power team. Kansas came in, and they rolled a whole different type of offense on the Mountaineers, and they were confused, and they didn't perform like they should have. But this right here, Virginia Tech, to me, is an opportunity where you take the strength of the Mountaineers. That is the defensive line, and they have an ability against this offensive line to make some hay. And here we're gonna listen here to what Neil Brown and his first words were about the Virginia Tech Hokies.
When you turn on their film of their first 3 games, is even in the loss at ODU and then in the last 2 games that they won, is man, they play really, really hard. And they're physical. Coach Fry has a defensive background, and you can see that the team's kind of buying into his mentality, and they're playing really hard. Kind of talk about in each phase defensively, there are multiple.
Brent Pry, brand new head coach. This is not a Frank Beamer coach team. It's not a Fuente coach team. This is Brent Pry from Penn State. He's defensive minded. He was a defensive coordinator at Penn State. And Neil Brown's saying is, despite their first loss against Old Dominion, the last 2 games they've won, but all 3 of them, they've been playing hard and buying into his philosophy as a coach. Avon, what's your thoughts?
So I mean, again, that's coach talk to me. Me looking at what they did in the last couple games. I mean, I don't think this game should be close. And you talking about them being a defensive coach. I mean, defensive minded team. Their offense is terrible. Defense wins championships. This ain't a championship game, and they need a quarterback to move that ball. And I don't think they have a guy to do that. He's going to throw a lot of interceptions tonight. But I'm kind of concerned. I'm concerned about our back end. But he's going to throw the ball up for us to make some plays.
Interesting. Bees, what's your thoughts?
I agree that they're going to throw the ball because of, our first 2 games. There were a couple holes in the zones, and we know everybody's going to find that play that worked last game, and they're going to drill it until we stop it. I just hope he's not a scrambling quarterback, because I think that's one of the things that's been hurting us, are contained. And I agree with Avon that we should get a lot of balls because, I mean, the opportunities will be there. They're not big running the ball. They're not, what are they averaging? Less than 4 yards a carry. I looked at the stats. This is a defensive team. I mean, they're built around ball control, not giving up big plays, putting pressure on you, and at the same time not turning the ball over so the defenses can win off a field position.
Joe, how about you, man? What's your thoughts?
Again, I mean, they're averaging 3 yards a carry. So we've got to force them to jump onto the shoulders of that quarterback and make him make mistakes and throw bad balls like these guys been saying and create the turnovers. The bottom line is the battle is going to be our offense against the defensive package that this team's developing. This new head coach brought in a philosophy that goes back a few years called the lunch pail defense. So it's like, the hard hats, pack your lunch pail and go to work. And they're stressing open field tackling. They swarm to the ball, and they really get after you in the tackle box. They play that 4-3 front, which means that they can bring guys from all over the place at any given time, obviously trying to confuse the offensive line. So it's going to be really imperative that, number one, our quarterback and our center have great communication to get our checks proper so we can pick up those zone blitzes that are attacking us. And we need to neutralize those guys, and that's going to be the key to the game. We got to make their quarterback throw the ball and we got to control the line of scrimmage with the offensive line and our run game. Our run game's been solid, and that's what controls the offensive momentum, is how we control that line of scrimmage.
Okay, so let's start this out really from the beginning, and we're gonna have to look at all three phases. I appreciate all that you guys have said. Obviously, all good points in there. But Neil Brown, special teams, you don't go into Blacksburg and come out victorious if you don't win the field position with their special teams. If you don't win the turnover battle, because since 2002, the Mountaineers are 97-14 when winning the turnover battle. That's a huge number. And then that's going to really matter in Blacksburg. So here, listen to Neil Brown and their special teams.
They've been solid. I think their specialists are very good. Kickoff guy really has got a strong leg. They've made all their field goals they've attempted, and we won't face a better punter. The punter he's really good at pinning them inside the 10, and he's had multiple 50-plus yard kicks or punts this year and last year. So that's kind of them in a nutshell with that.
Okay, so Avon, when you think about the special teams, they have a kicker that's 5 for 5. He's 100%, but he's 4 from 4 from 40 yards or greater with a 49-yarder. And they have a punter that's had 17 punts, which 8 have been inside the 20, and most of them have been inside the 10. How important is this field position battle on special teams here at Blacksburg?
It's gonna be. I mean, to be honest, I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. I mean, I know it's a Black Diamond. I know it's a rivalry game, but I really think we're better than them. To be honest with you, I think we are a much better team. Now, again, this is just I think they're going to kick a lot of field goals. I think our defense is way too good for them to. And I say defense. Our front seven is really good. Our back end has issues. And us talking special teams. I mean, we've never really had great special teams. We've always been poor, with the special teams game since Sean Terry left. You know what I mean? I haven't seen, and I mean, they had a couple of returns here and there, but we've always been porous on giving up big plays on the special teams. And then, I mean, obviously last week they gave up a touchdown first kickoff of the game. So I think it's going to be a struggle for us to, more so on when we're kicking off to them. I think we'll control, what they do. We'll control what we do, but when we kick off to them, that's where I think we're gonna have problems.
All right, Bees, go ahead. But can't hear you, Bees.
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to be a tight game, man. I'm like, there's a lot of emotion that's going to be in this game. We haven't played in a long time, and we're going to be on the road. Of course, we're going to have to deal with the emotion at the beginning of the game. I mean, they're going to come out on fire. I just think it's going to be a closer game than what Avon says, just because of the fact that their defense and our defense is going to be the battle of the game, to me. We're going to have to hold up, yes. But, we've given up a lot of big plays, and that's what we're going to have to stop. I just hope that that's the key. I hope that our front seven controls the game, like you said. That's going to be the major factor. But I think all three phases are going to be important. We got to win 2 out of the 3. We got to control the field position. We got to keep them from having the ball so we don't have our defense in bad situations and don't turn the ball over. I mean, we can say the same things every week if you think about it. The O-line has to control the line of scrimmage. The defense can't give up big plays, and we can't turn the ball over. I think that's since the beginning of football.
Well, isn't that the truth, though? Isn't that the cliche, then, Brian Joswiak? Is it not a cliche that you have to win the turnover battle?
Oh, if I recall, under Coach Nealon, when we would come in for our post-game breakdown and analytics, the only thing that Coach Nealon ever addressed was the turnover ratio. And turnovers dictate wins and losses, no matter how you cut it. And that's what he focused on. He'd let the coordinators do their thing and talk about the goals of each unit. But when it came to the game itself, it was all about turnovers. And turnovers in field position they dictate outcomes of football games. And hey, Wolf, they got a really, really good punting game. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. A lot of these offensive coordinators, their punt is the most important play in their arsenal. And if I can make you and pin you and make you move the ball great distances and flip the field and put you in tough situations, then I'm winning that part of that game. And quite frankly, we need to put them in as many punt situations as we possibly can. Force them.
I am a big believer in special teams, and I'm going to say this with Avon, like, we had a punt block in the pit game that did lead to 7 points. They have been covering well, except for last week was a complete letdown against Towson to let that kickoff return. I agree with you there, but I will say the special teams in Plattsburgh always is tough, man. It's tough.
I don't think they have. It's not Beamer ball anymore though. Beamer's not there. I don't think it's a focus as it was before. In my opinion, I don't think that's a focus for them. They're trying to find their identity, and I don't think they're hanging their hat the same way they did when Beamer was there. Blocking punts and blocking field goals. It's just my opinion.
No, and it's a valid opinion, but on the flip side, when you pin offenses inside the 10-yard line, that is something that you're doing. I mean, against Boston College, they held them to 155 total yards. A lot of that, they were starting out outside their end zone. I mean, they were put in a tough situation. So if you have to be an offense, and the way that Virginia Tech's defense is that they like to pressure with the defensive line in the box and then go that man up with the DBs, because they got some athletes now. They have some real strong athletes.
Always have.
Defensive side. And when you could do that and only allow 42 yards average against them rushing, you can do some stuff down there. You have to have field position. So that's what I'm saying. And you're right. It's not Beamer ball as it was. This is a brand new coach trying to buy in. Well, let's go to the offense. And here you're going to see Graham Harrell. Graham Harrell's going to talk about Bryce Ford-Wheaton. He has 24 receptions on this season. He's got 10 more than the next receiver, which is KP, Caden Prather. Sam James has 11, and it goes down from there. But are there other receivers other than Bryce Ford-Wheaton if they try to take him out?
But the good news is we do have other guys. We got multiple guys that can make plays. So if you do want to start tilting the coverage to certain people or something, then we feel comfortable throwing to anyone we put out there. And it's like I said, watching those guys make plays was good. Sam caught the big one right there before half. KP caught a lot of catches. Bryce had a decent number of catches, and
so they do have other options to go to, but then you have to think about it. Bryce Ford-Wheaton, he's number one in the nation in contested catches with 8. He has 8 contested catches. That's number 1 ranking. The guy is having a lights-out season. He made a mistake. He missed an important catch. But overall, with his 4 touchdowns, he's pretty darn special. Go ahead, Bees.
Yeah, I mean, consistency is the big thing in any position, So I commend him for stepping back up after that first game. Like, he hasn't backed down at all, and that's what you look for in a great player, because we all make mistakes, we all get beat, we all give up a block, or it happens. It's just part of the game. It's how you come back. It's like we all say, you have to have a short memory. Whatever position you play, you always have to stay even keel, and that's what he looks like. I mean, he took it in stride, and now look at him. I mean, I just feel like now people are going to start keying on him and try to take him out of the equation, because he's always the first look when you watch our play. And I just feel like he's going to get a lot more press with some help over top. And I just hope our line can hold up so JT can go to his second and third reads.
No doubt. Avon, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be our difference maker, to be honest with you. Just the way we pass the ball. And again, D's hit on it. If we can protect the QB, keep him upright. I mean, I just don't think, from looking at what they did before, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I mean, yeah, they have athletes. Yeah, they're going to go. But like you said, we got other options. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw what they were doing, but they gave KP a bunch of balls last week. I mean, they featured him a whole lot last week because again, they wanted to let people know, hey, we got more options, and that's why I think he was featured a lot more. He got I don't know if you guys really picked up on that, especially Bees, because he's probably looking at the backpedaling guys. Um, you know, but at the same time, I had to throw that shot in into my boy. But I think that's going to be our determining factor. The way we distribute the ball on the outside.
Yeah. All right, Jones, I see you with your finger up there. What do you have to say about this offensive lineman to the wide receiver, a DB, and a running back?
Well, I got news for you. I'm an O-line guy, and all I care about is, hey, catch the ball and don't drop it. All right, that's all I care. I'm only kidding. Hey, seriously, the communication between Harrell and the quarterback. Our quarterback has quite a bit of freedom out there on the field to make choices, to change plays, to take advantage of what's given to us. And let's face it, when you got one of the best receivers in the country out there working against coverages, he's going to draw brackets. He's going to draw under and over coverages, and they're going to try to take him out of the game. And like Avon said, I mean, we got other weapons, man. And that is important, that the quarterback gets to read, makes a call, and gets it where it needs to go. And like we said earlier, a lot of that is predicated on the communication between the quarterback and the center, that we get the protection calls properly and we make sure we pick up those zone blitzes that are going to be coming at us, because they are a pressure defense. They're going to want to take away the line of scrimmage. They're going to hit their gaps. They're very sound up front, and they're very physical, and they're going to rely on their defense. But hey, we got to give him the protection, let him do his thing and throw the ball around. But like I've always said, we got to be able to run the football, and we got to do it early. We got to put points on the board in the first quarter. That's a big one. No opponent this year has put any points on the board in the first quarter, which means they're playing lights out defense from the get-go. And if we can get some points on and show them that, hey, we're in this battle and we're here to win, we got a good chance tonight.
All right, Jones, let's see how your crystal ball is, because here's JT Daniels discussing his freedom.
Great communication. A lot of times, it's very rare that it's like you have a situation with an offense where it's like you have full freedom to do everything, and it's not something you want to do. You spend too much time up there trying to think and figure things out, right? So a lot of it is, a certain look we check to this, or a certain matchup we give them this, things like that. So far, I've done a really good job of being correct in pre-snap assessment and making the right decision.
Okay. Now I call that the 5-star swagger, man. He's like, I've been really good, and you know what, he has been, and he's right. Avon, what do you think, man, about this guy JT Daniels?
He's a stud, man.
Incredible, and he backs it up every time, and he's so intelligent.
Man, he's a stud, man. So he reminds me of a Mark Bolger. I mean, obviously we all remember Mark. He has the swagger of Mark. I mean, he has maybe a little bit more swag than Mark, because Mark was a lot more. His persona was not as big as JT's is, but I mean, the way he throws the football, the way he delivers the football, precisely the way he does. I mean, to me, the guy, he has what you're looking for in a leader. With a quarterback, and like you said, his persona, his swagger, he's got what you need when the times get tough. People are going to look to him, and I believe he's going to make that play every time.
Hayes?
I mean, he was a 5-star top recruit out of California. I mean, when he was under the USC brand. I mean, he got the goods as far as the physical, the mental. And like you said, he's a smart guy, because, a lot of quarterbacks don't have that freedom. And, it's good when a quarterback can do that, because sometimes you see things that a coach can't see in the heat of a moment. So when you got a guy who is he's a student of the game, he's basically a pro out there. He's bidding his time, so I look at him, because what is he? He's like 22, 23 years old. So he's a little bit older as far as a junior, and I feel like his experience takes him a lot higher than a lot of younger quarterbacks. Because the speed of the game changes, and him playing USC, then him playing, SEC football. What else can you ask for? He's seen it all.
Go ahead, Joes, and finish up what you're saying, because you heard them. Now they're in agreement with each other, and they actually.
You got me still. I'm having some issues. You got me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, I got issues. I
Yeah,
got all kinds of issues.
You do.
You finally figured that out.
Hey, wait a minute. Again, hey, we're talking about the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
He's been at 2, now 3 big time programs. So he's learned new coordinator language. He's learned the systems. He's picked it up. And let's face it, we're not recreating the wheel. A lot of this stuff is the same, except the terminology changes dramatically, and he's able to pick that up because he's been in different systems and he can learn that real quick. I love the fact that he's got a lot of freedom out there on the field. And hey, Wolf, I got a real special treat right here. You want to talk about a Mountaineer legend? Joining us, hey, right here from the Red Carpet Lounge in Charleston, West Virginia, is the one and only, the legend, Mike Fox.
How's it going, fellas?
What's going on?
What's
Fox
up?
Day.
Doing?
What's up,
Y'all
Fox
doing all
Day?
Go ahead. You got issues again, Foxy. I don't know what it is, but you bring some you bring a little negativity going on to the
That's
camera
my computer.
there.
No, it's his
I
computer.
know, you were just on. I don't know what's
It's really
going
the
on.
setup.
It's
Well,
the setup.
my phone keeps buffering, so I'm gonna talk with you on Joe's computer. Next time I'll bring my computer.
All right, Foxy, very good.
How are
Now,
y'all doing?
let me ask you this. What is your take? Because we've all given our takes about going down to Blacksburg, playing for the Black Diamond Trophy, just the bragging rights between the state lines there. Obviously, it's a rivalry game. It means a lot to a lot of Mountaineers that we win this game. What are your thoughts, and how heated is this rivalry?
It's a very heated rivalry. We need to get a signature win going into the Big 12, and I think this would be a good time to get it right now. Signature win, play some Mountaineer football, and dominate the opponent, out physical them, play till the whistle's done, and just win at the end of the game.
Okay,
That's what I
easy
say.
enough. Let me ask you this way: you actually have worked with these guys in the past and watched them. And what is your take on what you see about the Kansas game? Well, first, let's take a step back. Let's go Pitt game, where I thought there was great effort. The Kansas game, where I thought they were confused, and that made them hesitate. It took away their reaction and their instinct. Again, getting a little bit of that swagger back. Last week, Townsend, hang on now. And now they're heading into this offensive line. Now, Virginia Tech likes to rush the ball. They've averaged 40 rushes per game.
Well, we got to stop the run, so that's the big part. So we got to have some two-gappers up there to make sure they knock the other guys backwards 3 yards. If they can do that, they can control the line of scrimmage. It's just that simple. We need a signature win going into the rest of this Big 12 season, and I think a Virginia Tech would be a good test for us. It's definitely not Frank Beamer, Virginia Tech, but there's a lot of talent in that state, just like there is in this state. So it'll be a war.
Okay.
And as far as the Pittsburgh game, not to be that was an interesting game. If you want to, we had our chance to win, and I'm going to say that there was some interesting calls in that whole football game. So that.
Okay. Boy, I tell you, that really left me intrigued. You say interesting calls. Are you talking about penalty calls? I said intrigued. Are you talking about penalty calls?
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, there was like a lot. There was holding calls like they never called, and there was pass interference calls that they never called. And I feel like, not to be a sore loser or nothing, but I feel the refs helped them win that game. So.
Foxy, would you have went for the fourth down, Foxy? Fox, would you have went for that fourth down?
I think it would have. With the analytic, yeah, I would have went for it. But it doesn't matter.
Analytic,
defense still has to stop them.
Yeah, exactly.
But with the new Eagles, people are going for it on fourth down anymore now. It's like they're doing it, way out of style. But I mean, it changes the possession, and if you can keep an offensive possession, that's keeping the ball away from the other team. So I'm going to say it's new football, but it's definitely worthy.
Okay, Avon. Everybody else gave their thought on the going forward. With Avon Colburn as the head football coach of the Mountaineers, would you have gone for it on 4th and inches at Pitt on the road, or would you rather try to pin them with your defense inside the 10-yard line?
Yeah, I would have kicked it. As a coach, I would have kicked it. As a player, I'm like, shit, I'm gonna get that yard. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from getting that yard. But as a coach, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I have to trust. My. Because I mean, again, if we kick it to them, they got they stop us. We're on the 50-yard line. They got a short field, even though they do drive down there and score a touchdown. But it was off of a penalty too, so it was a stupid penalty on our part. But I would kick the field goal and let my defense play the way they played. I mean, they was playing great the entire game, and I'm not going to chance us, because we're up right now, and I'm definitely going to kick the ball.
All right. Well, hey, I like that because we're getting different vibes here. Honestly, I
don't like the coach Avon. I like the player Avon.
Hey, that's pretty good there, Beast. Well, you came up with one. All right. That's not bad. But you know what? I think you can go either way because either way, you're supposed to be successful. If it's 4th and inches, your offense is supposed to be able to push that and get that first down. And if you're relying on your defense and you pin them inside the 10-yard line, they should not be able to go for a touchdown drive, especially at crunch time. So, again, either way you choose, in my opinion, you should be right either way because you should be able to play the game and what you're supposed to do. And if you go ahead and punt it, your defense stops it with a 3 and out. Guess what? They punt it back, and now you got the better field position. So, Coach Avon, I like what you had to say because it makes sense. They're bees.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, guys. I mean, if I was on the field, and again, as a coach, I'm not just playing for to win the game. I'm playing to make sure that my coaches keep a job. I'm playing to make sure, and their job as a coach to stop those guys too. And the odds are, I mean, their defensive line, even though we played lights out, we had a 100-yard rusher. We did what we supposed to do. I just feel like as a coach, I want to put my players in the best positions to win. And again, some of the players might not like the call, but if I was on the field, it would have been no way that I would have came off the field. There would have been no way.
Hey,
but again, now you're riding the fence.
He's like double tough.
You got to know your personnel. You either got guys that can get you or you don't. That's it.
You just switch back and forth. You're like Two-Face.
Because as a coach,
but as a player,
no, it's not gonna happen.
As a coach,
I got the truth.
All right.
Hey, I'm now on your player.
This own conversation out there.
Player Avon, I love you.
Okay, so let's get back to what we were talking about before when Foxy came in, and let's go because the offense here has got they got to do a lot of work, and you can see JT Daniels. Now, I love listening to this young man talk. I really do. I think he's very intelligent, and he talks so crisply and clearly. I think his leadership skills are, out of sight here. Check this out.
There's not as much that goes on during the game. There's a lot that goes on during the week. Like a specific example from last week, when I watched Red Zone, on Thursday, and there's there are a few ways that cornerbacks play red zone man-to-man coverage, especially from like the 5-yard line. And Towson was a true press inside leverage team. So I talked to KP and Bryce on Thursday and told them this week phase are not going to be thrown over the top. They're going to be quick back shoulder. Don't waste time on a release. Go straight for the back pile. It's going to be a quick back shoulder, and that's what you saw in the first touchdown of KP. So,
wow, did you listen to that? Hey, Foxy, pay attention. I'm asking you a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
pay attention between the
Go
YouTube
ahead.
guys out there. Okay, so you just heard JT Daniels talk about going ahead and going with the back shoulder pass with his receivers in preparation during the week because he knew that they were inside leverage as defenders. Have you heard a college quarterback talk that clearly, that crisply like that, and be that much of a leader?
Well, I mean, he's got a lot of experience. He comes from occasions, so you know he's had a lot of diversity with quarterbacks and quarterback coaches and offensive coordinators. So I mean, it's good that he's got good knowledge of the game, but we got to make plays. So we got to get it in the end zone. So
now, speaking of making plays, Avon, what do you think of that? Because I think listening to this guy, and he's just telling his guys, listen, this is the type of pass coverage leverage you're giving us, and we're just going to go back shoulder. Don't even look at it over the
I mean, hey, Wolf, I mean, to have a guy to speak so eloquently about the game at that age is really, to me, is lights. That's why I know when you have a quarterback that can talk like that about the game, you know, in college, you know, it just separates you from everybody else. Like we aren't the only ones that heard that. Everybody's like, hold on, he broke down the game during the week himself. So he's like, look, don't worry about, you know, we're going to outside release, throw a back shoulder. Yeah, I see the Paul Moore sign up there. It's pretty dope. But look, check this out, man. We got a guy, and you know, like I know, everybody here that's played with a guy, I'm talking about a quarterback, know they had a chance to win. And when you got a guy that is elite as he is, I mean, again, everybody makes mistakes, but I truly believe this guy is gonna. We can win every one of our games going forward because we have a guy.
Out of Social Beast, I know you got to have a lot to say about that because this is a guy that's communicating with his wide receivers against a position you have to play against or had to.
Man, like I said before, he's a student of the game. It's amazing because you don't have as much time as a college student to prepare like we used to prepare in the NFL or you in the CFL, and you know he's putting in the extra work because everything right now. I mean, when you think about the game, not much has changed about the game. I mean, the terminology. You still got 3x1. You still got 2x2. Everything's the same. It's just how the window dressing is and getting the pre-snap reads and, you know, being able to like quantify it into like a science type of thing where, you know, you got different calculations. Or I know my split and he knows if he got a cut split and what the cornerback's going to do and how he's aligned. His pre-snap read is there so he can anticipate where he's going to throw. And when you got a guy like that can throw the ball and he sits in that pocket too. That's what I love about him. He doesn't drift. He was taking some hits that first game, but he sits in that pocket and he knows when to get rid of the ball. He has the time clock of like a lot of NFL guys because, you know, you watch Brady. Brady gets rid of the ball in less than 3 seconds just because sometimes the offensive line and the protection might not hold up. So you just got to know where to go and anticipate.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, honestly, I absolutely fed. I mean, I love listening to him talk because I just haven't heard it at that level in college. And speaking of that, let's talk now. Let's move to the offensive line because the Mountaineers are averaging 217 yards. Joe's, you got to get back into this conversation now, being offensive line because the Mountaineers are doing better than what they have. C.J. Donaldson, 6 rushing touchdowns. You know, Tony Mathis is averaging over 4.5 yards per rush. I mean, it's honestly, it's a nice thing to see because it's been missing. Listen to Graham Harrell on the O-line.
No, really since I've been here, I think I've probably said like that's going to have to be the heart of this team, and especially this offense. There's just so much experience there. They work really hard. I think the whole team kind of looks to those guys, and so we've made a point, like I said, at least since I've been here, that room's going to have to kind of carry the team. I feel like and carry our offense, and they've done a great job. And
And that's why you go for fourth down. Thank you.
Oh, that's why you go for the 4 times?
And that's why you go for the fourth down. Thank you.
Okay, so Joe's listen to Graham Harrell. He's air raid where he comes from, but he's also learned how to go ahead and mix the run up at least enough to make sure that they're more of a balanced team than just a straight up air raid. But you see that they're doing better than what they have. They're coming together as a group, but this is the test. Not only is this a tough team to run against, this is a tough team to protect the quarterback in the passing game against. They have 9 sacks. They put a ton of pressure. They got some defensive ends. They got some bookends. So again, check out the rush. They're averaging 1 point or allowing 1.9 yards per rush. What does the Mountaineers have to do with their offensive line?
We got to make blocks. I mean, it's pretty simple. We got to make sure that the communication up front is handling the situations that they're giving us. So, it's all about how much did we prep during the week? Did we study our film? Did we get the reps in practice? And we got to be able to handle the what ifs, the situations, because they're preparing for us too. They're going to do things. They're going to take advantage of situations that we present, and they're going to try to pressure us. They're going to bring that second level guy from different places. And again, the adjustments that we make in the calls, we got to do it immediately. You know what I mean? It's got to be right now. We got to recognize and handle it. And they're very good. Our tackles have to have great games. Our tackles have to have great games against those defensive ends. And like Mike said earlier, their interior guys, they're pretty good. They play that 4-3 front. So they're going to rely on 2 maintaining 3. And they're going to let that number 4. Number 4 is their middle linebacker. I don't know his name. I really don't care what his name is. But number 4 is legit.
Dax Hollifield.
What's that?
Dax Hollifield.
Good for you, Wolf. I'm glad you know his name. I don't give a crap what his name is, all right? All I know is we got to get a hat on him because he's the playmaker. He's the guy that's protected by the 2 interior down guys. And that's the guy that's making a lot of tackles. So we got to get good double teams, and we got to get to that second level, get a hat on him. And like you said earlier, we got to make sure we get our protection calls right and get those guys picked up and give JT a little bit of time back there and let him do what he does with the ball.
Okay, before I move on to you, Avon, Joe's, I got one more question for you, this offensive line, protection-wise. What do they have to do? Do they have to keep a tight end? Do they got to keep O'Laughlin in there? Do they have to keep Hollanday in there at tight end? Or can you go ahead and chip with the running backs? Do they have to? Because you've seen before at times, that they haven't chipped as much, and sometimes it's been a problem, sometimes it is not. Do they have to move the pocket around with this defense? Because this defense blitzes just as much or more than Pitt.
Okay, so it becomes that chess match. All right. If you keep your tight end in, you're adding a guy to the box. Okay, so if you split that guy out, you're taking somebody out of the box. So it really depends on what the defense is going to give you. If they're going to lock down and play man coverage and go ahead and bring those extra guys, you got to get your back involved, number 1, in the protection scheme. All right, because you got 5 blocking 5. You got to have one more guy in there when they bring that 6-man, and that's got to be maybe your back. Again, if it's your tight end, you're bringing another guy into the box. You know what I'm saying? So you want to kind of make sure that you see what the defense is giving you first. That's my opinion.
No, I think that's a really good opinion. So let's go, Avon. You have a freshman sensation, C.J. Donaldson. Okay, 6 rushing touchdowns. He's averaging 9.8 yards per. He's averaging 10 yards per rush. Obviously, a lot of inflated numbers on big rushes, but he has made them, and he's made them not just against Townsend. He made it against Pitt, and he's been fairly consistent at being sharp. And honestly, I did not see on a couple of his big runs many DBs catching up to this 240-pound freshman that was a tight end 6 weeks ago.
Right, and first of all, I gotta give respects to the beer truck that just rolled up in here. One time for my man. Talking backs right now. We talking backs right now. So I'm thoroughly impressed by this young man. I mean, first time ever playing running back. I mean, to me, the first thing is he's got great feet. Um, he runs extremely hard, and so this is something that I've been talking about for the last week or so, is that he's now going to be the starter. I know they haven't named it yet, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be the starting running back coming out in this game because of what he done in the last 2 weeks. And I'll get back to your question. It just was on my mind. You know, he has been dominating. Dominating the game and coming in as a true freshman. I mean, I don't think that's been done since who's the little guy that played with you, Bear Truck? Number 7. What's the little guy? Fast. What's his name? Devon.
Noel.
Yeah, Noel Devon. So I don't think a true freshman has played, like him. But Noel didn't have the impact that this guy's having right now. He's a big guy, and if you saw they're making business decisions. I know Bees has made a couple of those in his life. Um, you get on the field, you're gonna make a business decision. You want to hit that guy, and it's just like hitting the beer truck. Do I really want to go at that, all day long? And to me, he's the game changer right now, because one thing we talked about the O line, we talked about the quarterback, but this running back is really going to set the tone, because if we can run the ball, now that's going to free up our wide receivers to be one-on-one more often than not.
Okay, so before I get to you, Schmitty, all right, Avon, go ahead. Talk to me about Tony Mathis. This guy has been waiting all this time to take over this year. This was his year to take over, and he's running hard. I mean, he's averaging almost 5 yards per rush. But then all of a sudden, this tight end comes in, and his name is C.J. Donaldson, and he has 6 rushing touchdowns. I mean, what in the world are you thinking if you're Tony?
And you know exactly what he's thinking. He's like, man, this cat is coming in. He's going to take my spot. So what happens when you get a stud that comes in and you start pressing, you start doing more than what you're capable of doing, and you get outside of your game. And that's what happened to him in the first game. This young guy comes in, breaks a long run, and now he's like, I got to do more, as opposed to stretching, cutting. Because to be honest with you, I liked him more than I liked Letty Brown last year, because he had a twitch that Letty didn't have. I mean, Letty was definitely a hard runner. I mean, he made plays, but I like the twitch that Mathis has. And the new young guy, CJ, he doesn't have that twitch. And I think that's where the difference is with him I still like Mathis, but I don't think he should start this week because of the success this young guy's having. Give him every opportunity to fail now.
Schmidt, did you hear that? Schmidt,
yeah.
Go ahead. Why don't you give us your thoughts on what Avon just said?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Mathis is a great running back as well. I think where he has issues is like you were saying, he likes to dance a little bit too much in the backfield. The run scheme's never changed up with CJ and him, right? So CJ just hits the hole, right? So he's hitting the play correctly, right? Hitting it, being able to big back, run through them arm tackles, and get down and stretch the field. Mathis is a guy who kind of needs to get to the second level to break down and kind of make those guys miss. That's where he can really be well, I think, for us as far as a whole in the game plan. But I think no question CJ is absolutely dominated. He's shown that he is truly should be the starter. What's extraordinary is he's a freshman. He's a big-bodied kid, and he's shown us here in these last 3 games that he's able to tote the pill and do a good job at it.
Schmidt, because you arrived late to this party over here, okay, I'm going to go ahead and ask you what I've already asked the others. And that wasn't a dig, by the way. That was not a dig at you, okay?
It sounded like it.
No, I was not. Late to the party, but he is the party, so he's the life of it. But playing in Virginia Tech, playing down in Blacksburg, what are your thoughts about this, the rivalry that goes way back, a lot of dislike that goes into this? And, I mean, you were still playing Tech back in your day, right? Yeah, of course you were.
Yeah, we played them 04, 05. Yep.
Okay, so you were down there in 04 then for Virginia Tech. What do you think this game? What does it mean? And how do you come out with a victory?
Well, it's going to be electric. They got a lot of hours here to get tuned up. Right, the fans are going to be tuned up. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to have all their adult beverages in hand. Right, fists in the air, doing their chants. Let's go Hokies! That whole big deal. But you're also on the other end. This is such a close game. You're going to get a lot of West Virginia fans down there as well. So it's going to be an electric atmosphere. It's I believe it's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. So it's going to be a night game, super electric, a lot of intensity. Enter Sandman. It's going to be rocking. It's honestly, it's one of those great intros in college football. But you're going to have to go down there and you're going to have to quiet the crowd. You're going to have to go down there and make plays early, get ahead. Virginia Tech's kind of showed that they're kind of ground and pound you after that Old Dominion loss. They haven't taken too much of the air. So I think if we get an early lead, an early stretch on the game, they just won't be able to catch up. I think our intangibles with JT and our run game is going to be a little too much. I know defensively, Virginia Tech is playing some really great ball right now. They are pretty stymied in the defense, the back end of the defense, in their secondary. They do have some great ball players, along with their second level linebackers, and their D-line is playing good as well. But I just think we're going to have a little too much firepower all around to spread it around for them to be able to catch up. And like I said, if we can just make that punch first and get ahead, I think we'll be able to take the game and run away with it.
Okay, so I'm playing a little bit of catch up with you, Smitty. Obviously, you think the Virginia Tech, they're going to be blitzing a lot, trying to put pressure on JT. But that means that those wide receivers have to go man. Now, I said before that BFW, Bryce Ford Wheaton, is number 1 ranked in the nation with 8 contested catches. And he's got 24.
Well, he should be. He's almost got 300 yards of reception. So, I mean, he's killing it right now.
So how does that play in to the advantage for the Mountaineers, being that they are going to go so much man?
Well, it's one-on-one. It's right. It's my athlete versus your athlete. Who's the better one? Who's trained better? You got we got an absolute general at the quarterback position right now. You know he's coaching those guys up throughout these last 3 weeks. Graham and those guys have dialed. I'm sure they have special plays dialed up, man beaters all day long. I'm sure they'll do some option routes based on coverages and based on where guys play on or off the ball. Look to have a great – obviously, BFW is going to have a great game regardless. I mean, the guy's playing at a super high level right now. He knows his number is going to be called. I anticipate Virginia Tech maybe trying to double cover him a little bit, maybe with some zone behind, possibly with a safety over top, you know what I mean, manned up with a corner, which is going to open it up for, KP and Smith there. And I think we'll be able to stretch the field out. And I think obviously then with our run game, if we get that going and we get the air going, it's going to be a long night for Virginia Tech.
Absolutely. Now, I got one more question to ask you, and then we'll be all caught up and move to the defense, because I know Bees is getting really thirsty to talk about that defense. But Beasley's point was Mountaineers went into Pitt, played in front of the largest crowd ever in Pittsburgh, played Thursday night football, national TV, first game of the season, and it was pretty intense. Who's that advantage? Because the Mountaineers already been there. Is that an advantage going to Blacksburg over Virginia Tech?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you think of the first 3 games we've played versus the first 3 that Tech's played what? Old Dominion, Wofford, and Boston College. I mean, I'm sorry not to rip on those guys at all, but you know what I'm saying? The level of competition that we've played in these first 3 games has definitely got us an advantage, as far as we've already played in a sold-out Thursday night, absolutely insane atmosphere game, which is guys, if anything, if you had nerves going in a little bit, I think advantage us in this game just because of the experience we've had in the first 3 games of the season already this far.
Yep, Absolutely. Good points. Bees, with that being said, let me ask you this, man, is when you see that this offense, they like to run the ball, they're not good at it yet. They had one big hit on a 65-yarder to Keyshawn King, the running back, against Boston College. But other than that, they've been averaging 1.92 yards per rush. But they've been rushing the ball 30 times. We're staying 2 for 3. What is the deep? How does this play into the Mountaineer defense and their strength?
Well, them not being a big throwing team, I think helps us. I think our biggest strength is our front seven. So if we can like load the box up, make this guy make throws, and win it that way. Because I think like we can't be playing cover 2s and cover 4s. We got to load. We can't let them run. They're going to try to run, but we can't let them run. And
Hey, Beans, let me ask you a question.
You like to disagree with me on everything? You like to call me out
don't.
on everything. You want a one-on-one,
you.
bro? We can
I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke. But let me ask you this. Bees. Our back end, do you think our back end is good enough to man their receivers up?
I'm looking at their offense being one-dimensional. They're not throwing the ball that well. So let's challenge them and let's make them throw the ball. Because the worst thing we can do is let them get some momentum running the ball, kill the clock, keep our offense off the field. Let's put some pressure on. Let's be a little more aggressive and make this quarterback win the game. Because he's not that dude.
I would agree a little bit.
I feel like we got.
I would agree a little bit.
We got Division I corners. I understand what you're saying, but like at one point we're gonna have to line up and play some ball. We can't just sit back and just like catch, and then hope for something. Let's make some plays happen. That's all.
Avon, where are you going with that right now? Where are you going?
I'll let the beer truck go ahead and he know where I'm going.
Yeah, I mean we're banged up a little bit in the secondary right now. That's just what's up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're trying to like play a little bit to that weakness, right? We want to make sure that we can kind of save those guys a little bit in the backfield. So we've been doing some different things. I absolutely believe, yes, Bees for sure. We need to bring some pressure, right? We need to get pressure on this kid. He's been known to make mistakes. He had 4 turnovers in the Old Dominion game. The one thing that does worry me a little bit is that they got King back. He's an explosive player, man. He could tear us up if we let him. So we need to stop him for sure up front. Hopefully our big guys get penetration. We get a couple hits on this guy. He's going to start getting a little scatty. He's going to make some bad plays.
Hey, can I add? When I say I don't want to just play all man. I mean, I want to be disguising. I want to have some different looks because we don't want to be static as far as what coverages we're in. But I just feel like we can say we can't play man, but I've seen some holes in our zones as well, and that's what scares me.
Well,
you know what I mean? Because when I'm watching, I'm like, damn, we got 3 guys in one zone, and that's happened a couple times. And like, I'd rather have less confusion. I got that guy. Bring some heat. And don't even let him throw the ball. We got the guys up front that won't let him throw the ball.
Okay, so with that being said, and talking about it, is the secondary right now having some injuries, Charles Woods, all that, are they the weak point of the defense? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So when you look at Virginia
100%.
Tech, the way they break down their passing game, they love to move the pocket. Okay, they love because they use so much 12 personnel. They love to put their tight ends into the passing routes. Now, if you break it down, there are 3 starting receivers or the main guys that play. They've added up for 22 receptions in the 3 games. Your tight ends have 22 receptions in the 3 games. What does that do? Go back to you, Beast. What does that do for if you want to play man up or zone? Because now you got to defend the tight end because that's half of their game plan for throwing.
Well, and that's why I'd rather have the man, because if we're playing zone, they're just going to dink and dunk us all the way down the field. Because this is the type of team that they do have the big plays and explosive plays, but it's all mostly off of play action. But if we give these guys the chance to dink and dunk 5 yards here, 3 yards, 4 yards, and work their way down the field, then they control the clock, they control the game. And that's the only reason I'm saying we want to put pressure on him. Let's get the ball out of his hands and make him make tight throws. Because I feel like when you got bodies on bodies, there's less confusion. I got this guy, you got that guy, and now we're not talking about I thought we were switching the zone here, and then somebody's running free. I feel like let's line up 8 in the box.
That
sometimes cover 3, sometimes cover 1, sometimes disguise and cover 2, but like don't just give this guy a look. Let's make him read on the fly.
Go ahead, Avon.
So B's with that, man. So what you're saying, it's not our guys, it's coaching. It's you're saying the coaching is I mean, throw a shot where you want to throw it now. I mean, because at the end of the day, I think it's our I mean, I don't really watch defense that much to really know, but I know they get beat a lot. I know we play a lot of zone, which I think is a disadvantage, in college football because, any good quarterback is going to sit back if you don't have a good front seven. Is going to sit back and pick you apart. So that's where I think the zone is going to help us is because we have a good front seven that can get to the passer. You know what I mean? If we bring more than they have, and we go on a fire zone, drop somebody, bring somebody else, I think that's where the disruption happens. But I do believe you're right. We do need to switch it up, but I don't think we have the personnel to do that.
Yeah, they'd be kind of.
Go ahead, Schmidt.
They kind of be switching some things up there a little bit. I mean, we all know the weakness right now is the secondary. I mean, it is what it is. We're banged up a little bit, but at the same time, that's good experience for them. But we just kind of need to work them into that, right? So disguise, play some safety coverages here and there, but we need to get the pressure first and foremost. I think that's what we all agree on. We got to get to the quarterback.
And let's keep contained this week. How about that?
And you know what? Another thing, Bees, and all the rest of the guys. When they move in the pocket, I don't know about you as a defender, but I know on offense when we move the pocket, I hated it because now we're cutting off half of the field.
Mm-hmm.
If they're going to do that, I think that's going to play into what we do better because we don't have to think too much. Everything is going to one side. You know what I mean? So to me, I think that's an advantage for us because I don't think we have, and I could be wrong, I don't think we have the cover guys to do it. I mean, at least it's not been shown right now, in my opinion.
I think what the problem is that they're still young. The other guys are young, and the older guys that we have are the guys that just came in and transferred in, which, again, they're still getting the flow, still feeling the vibe, still trying to I'm going to be honest, still trying to figure out the speed, I think speed has come into play a little bit, especially when they have to make open field tackles out there because you got to be able to break down and you got to be an excellent athlete. Now, here's Jordan Leslie, and he talks about that he believes that the secondary are better athletes than what we've had here in the recent past.
Yes, I mean, it's just playing to what we're capable of playing. You know, I've you guys have heard me say this since the spring. I love this group, and I don't feel any different about them than I did then. I knew where we would have some growing pains. It doesn't change the fact that I think we're more athletic. I think we're faster. None of that has changed. My opinion of them. Still love them. Still think about them in the same light as a player. Obviously we didn't expect to lose Charles, but you got to adjust and move on.
Okay, so Ava, I'm going to come to you because I saw you making feeling something there. What did you want to say?
So two things about him.
That coach speak, right?
That's coach speak. Two things. You get what you pay for. We went to a Division 1 AA and got a 1 AA coach. And I think that's the problem because he's not speaking with no confidence to me. To me, he looks like a whoop puppy. I'm going to be honest with you. He doesn't look like he has any confidence. If you play that again, or if you rewind us and look at it again, it doesn't look like he's talking with any confidence, any conviction. Like he don't even believe what he's saying. So how could the players and how could anybody else? And again, man, I just don't believe. I think we need to go get if we're gonna get a defensive coordinator. I think our coordinators need to be big time, like Graham Harrell is. You know what I mean? He's a big time coordinator. And then we go get the defensive guy that is. I mean, I don't believe he should be where he is right now.
Go ahead, Schmitty. Pick on that one.
That is a very interesting subject, I would say. Here's the deal. We went and got a big time, like you said. Graham Harold, I mean, he is obviously already worked with JT, a smart pick there. He's known for his schemes downfield. He wants to stretch the field. As far as our defense goes, I mean, I don't know. The last couple of years, we've had pretty decent defenses. You know, losing all those guys in the secondary. I mean, I'm just saying we have had pretty decent defenses. It's a bummer the secondary we lost. We had to go out and just get some guys. I thought they, you know, with experience, they're going to grow this year, right? They're going to grow. It's unfortunate where we are right now with the injuries because now we're waiting on our depth here, right, to make the plays, and it's just not correlating with where we are as knowledge on the field. So, you know, there needs to be some more prep. Those guys need to be getting in the film room more, right? They need to be working on their drops, their steps. All that stuff needs to be started to work on. And as far as getting a defensive coordinator, who are we going to get right now? You know what I mean? Who are we going to get to replace, you know, right? You know, if we're thinking right now in terms of what's going on, I think we have, and this is, you know, whatever me playing the smart play here, I think we have a great football team. We have yet to play a complete game, which is unfortunate because, in my opinion, we should be undefeated right now. But until we play the complete game and everybody's firing on all cylinders, it's hard for me to really point fingers at anyone just because of the situations that have, you know, arose on the field. But I'm not
coaching.
Huh? Why are we not playing a complete game? Honestly, you're saying we haven't played a complete game? What's the issue?
I'm saying complete game with like penalties, stupid penalties. You know what I mean? I mean, whatever. We played Townsend last week. Big deal. We were supposed to whip that tail. I mean, what did we really learn from that? We still had penalties in that game, right? Kickoff did not fire on all cylinders. That's what we wanted to do, right? They ran one fucking back to the house. So, I mean, those are the things that we're trying to improve on. Obviously, we did improve last week, right? That was the improvement we wanted to see. But now we have an opponent that's going to smack us in the mouth. This ain't a Townsend, right? So this week, we have to see where we're going to be at the end of the day. Then I draw to some conclusions after that all happened because this is more of a worthy opponent, in my opinion, than what we played last week. Yeah, last week was a great tune-up, feel-good game, but this week is the challenge for us in Blacksburg for the Black Diamond Trophy, electric atmosphere. It's going to be a sold-out crowd, right? That's a real atmosphere to win a ball game in. And if we go and dominate, yeah, then I'll say we're where we need to be. If we go out and make the same mistakes we've made the previous 3 weeks, you know, then there's some talks that need to be had.
Right. So basically, last week, I don't think anybody thinks they've learned a whole bunch out of that. All that did was stop the bleeding. It's the trauma.
Yeah.
You stop the bleeding. At least you
feel good.
You got better. Maybe get a little bit of swagger going back to yourself and from that Kansas game when you really on defense got whipped. So, you know, with that being said, okay, with all that being said, okay, this is the game, okay? This is the game. Who's got to stand up, especially on this defense now? Who's got to stand up? It's got to be Dante, right? Let's listen to Jordan Leslie on this.
I mean, he has. Here's an example of exactly what we're talking about. Jordan Jefferson's sack the other day. Great play by him. And he got the stat. Dante made the play. Because Dante set up that twist game for Torrey Simmons, who come in a little too his angle was a little too steep. He got in a bad body position. He missed the sack. JJ cleans it up. Dante forced that that pocket to collapse off of that particular call. So there's an example.
Okay, so basically, the way Virginia Tech runs their offense, they do a lot of gap blocking in their scheme. They're blocking a lineman down, a tight end down. They're bringing a lineman around. They're pulling the lineman. So it's down block, pulling the lineman. That right there creates a space for the strength of the Mountaineers with Dante, with Jordan Jefferson, with Sean Martin, with Taj Austin to go ahead and get the pressure on that offensive line for the Hokies because they're only averaging 3 yards per rush. So you got to take advantage. Dante Stills, so once again, he didn't make the sack, but he allowed for the other players to benefit from what he did. He made the play. Beast, start us off.
Well, that's what a defense does. I mean, the hallmark of any good defense is running to the ball, flying to the ball. If somebody misses, the next guy is right there to clean it up. And like that should be a basic a basic thing in football to me. But I just like I want to go back to the keys for us are going to be our secondary holding up, like you said, because if we can keep our guys in the box and keep contained, these guys can't run the ball. Make them run east to west. Don't let them run vertical. As far as like getting downhill with the running back, I think we got the speed to make them make those outside tackles with our outside backers. I just feel like the game is going to be won on the line of scrimmage tonight. I mean, it doesn't matter, what happens. As the key is the secondary, but regardless, every game is all about the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Ava, going with that thought process, obviously the secondary's got to hold up. But if your defensive line is getting TFLs and putting pressure on Grant Wells, the quarterback, then it's going to make it a whole lot easier on that secondary to be successful.
I mean that's the. I mean we've been good at that for the last 3 years. Ever since the Stills boys been there, we've been dominating the front seven. And for us to win this game, for us to win every game, Dante Stills have to be Dante Stills. If he doesn't show up like he did in the Kansas game, he's we're not gonna win. And if somebody said something, there was no way for us to win that Kansas game because we were totally disoriented. You said we could have been 3-0. There was no way we could have been 3-0, Smitty, because our defense was in disarray. Like there was no way for us to win that game because we didn't know what we were doing. Regardless of how much we score on offense, they had one up on us because our defense had no idea what to do. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's what I'm trying to say. I mean,
right.
Yeah, I mean, we're not playing complete football right now. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. We got our butts whipped against Kansas. I mean, that's what happens when you don't play ball up front. Everybody knows it's up front. That's the tip of the spear. And if our defensive line or our offensive line don't come to play, we're going to get whipped. That's how it works. And we have to come out. We have to dominate. Like I said, up right off the bat. We got scrambling, running for his life. He's going to make a bad play. They can't rely on the run all day. We're too good up front for that to even work out. So we get some movement. I think we'll be in great shape for tonight.
Very good. Okay, so let's go ahead at the linebackers. What are your impressions so far? We look at the defensive line, the secondary. You got Lee Koba. He is a junior college transfer. He originally was committed to WVU, went to Syracuse, then went back to JC, and now he's here. He's fast. He's 6'2". He's 230. I mean, he looks good as a Mike Packer. How do you think he's handling and playing so far this season?
I can't even hear you because somebody can you mute? There we go. What was the question again? I was listening.
Lee Koba, the middle linebacker. How do you think he's playing so far?
Number 8
transfer.
Number 8. Number 8, right?
Yeah.
Man, that dude, like, I got one thing to say, man. Like, I got the chance to, meet some of these guys before, camp started. And I'm gonna tell you, that dude stood out to me because he just loves football. He just loves competing. Like they were running that hill, he tried to win every race, and it carries over into the games because I pulled him over to the side. I'm like, man, what makes you like this? You know, he was out there throwing the football. Oh, I'm better than you throwing the football. He competes in everything, and that's what you want in your leader on your defense. You know, that guy when he lines up out there, you know you're getting 100% from that guy because you see it the way he works, and that's what you want. That's a great leader of our defense right there.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've gone ahead. We've looked at the special teams. We've looked at the offense. Talked about the defense. What they had to do. Okay, let's get to this game. The outcome of this game. What does this game mean in the actual WVU season? What does it mean? Is this a statement game? It's a rivalry game. It's a Black Diamond Trophy game. Is this a statement game for this coaching staff and especially head coach Neil Brown to make a statement about the shape of the WVU football program?
I think so. I mean, we're 1-2 right now. Like we could be 2-1, could be 3-0. We're about 500, I guess, over Neil Brown's career. I just feel like every game right now, because of our schedule and how backloaded some of these tough teams are that we're going to play, every game is a bowl game for us right now. I don't care who we play because Kansas was supposed to be the doormat. Look what happened, you know. So we still got 8 other teams that are pretty darn good. I mean, they can score, and it's kind of weird now. Most of the Big 12 teams are defensive minded, but it's like we got to out defense all these defenses, and we got to start tonight because we're playing a great defense, the type of defense we're going to see in the Big 12. So we got to be out there. Every game is our season. That's the way I look at it.
Avon.
I agree. I mean, I don't think this is a statement game. I think you can't really make a statement with a team that's not very good. But I do think it puts him back in the driver's seat of not being fired. You know what I mean? Because after we lost Kansas, everybody was calling for him to be fired. I'm like, there's no way for. I mean, Kansas is a good team. Like we're gonna see Kansas win a lot of games because they're good. They cause havoc. They remind me of the Pat White, Steve Slayton, Owen Schmidt era because they just do so much stuff and you can't. It's hard to prepare for that. But at the same time, I don't think this is a statement game. No, I think this is a game that we're supposed to win and we should win. And it's just going to allow us to say, okay, we are who you thought we were. We're supposed to beat the teams we're supposed to beat. But it's going to keep us on track. Let me say that. It's going to keep us on track to where we want to go.
Okay, what does a loss do?
A loss. If we lose this game, he's somebody's going to find a way to buy him out. I promise you that.
Spinny, what's this game to you, man? What do you think?
What's a loss mean?
No, what's the game to you? What does this mean? Is it a statement game?
I mean, I would agree. I would agree with Avon there. I mean, it's not so much as this is a must-win game. We have to win this game, right? We have to get back to 500, right? We got to start climbing out of this nightmare a little bit. And this is a great opportunity, like Bees even said, against a solid defense. We need to have a great offensive game. We need to have a great defensive game. We need to play a complete game, put all the intangibles together. And when I say a complete game, this is what I'm saying, okay? I know we played great against Kansas offensively, but defensively, we schmidt the bed, right? We did not play well, okay? Last week, yeah, we did we put the things together. We made it happen, but we're playing a better opponent this week, right? It is going to be an electric atmosphere. So those are some of the atmospheres we're going to see throughout the Big 12. It is, they do have the trophy for it. So it does have some recognition as far as that goes. But overall in all, we need to get back to 500, right? And we need to right the ship because then we're going into, I believe, Texas next week, correct? Yeah. So I mean, we need to build some momentum here, right? We need to, like what the coaches always say, we need to stack these games, right? Stack these moments, stack these plays. So I think it is not so much a statement game, but it's a must win, and we have to do this for the confidence of really the team, if anything. I mean, I know the fans want to win, and I know that's all, that's one thing, but the team needs to get on the right track before we can right the ship.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this team, I believe that this team really understands the situation. When I say it's a statement game, I do believe it is a statement game because it's them being a statement about themselves. Now, you might think or say that that team is not as good as a normal Virginia Tech team of in the past. I say being into Virginia Tech at any time is difficult, especially if you've not experienced that type of environment. And it can be held against you. Now, I thought they did well against Pittsburgh with the Panthers. I thought they really held up in that environment pretty well. And having a leader like JT Daniels on the offense and having a leader like, say, Dante Stills on defense, I think really played out well. But this game, to me, this game is a loss. This is pivotal. And I say it's pivotal because where's your confidence going to be as a team if you lose this? Where are you gonna be at 1-3 with everybody screaming like crazy? Where is this team's confidence gonna be headed into Austin, Texas? That's you talk about putting your back up against the wall. That will be a tough task, starting quarterback or not, because it still is Texas Longhorns. And that is a challenge. Joes, you're coming back in. We're about ready to close this up. We were talking here about what does this game mean? A victory and a loss. What does this game mean to you? And we'll give you the last word and we'll close this shop up so you guys can do your show there at the Red Carpet Lounge. What time do you start at? 5:45?
Yeah, about 5:45, we're going to get on, and there's a good-looking group down here, and we're going to have some fun, tell some stories, and, talk a little bit of Virginia Tech football. Wolf, fellas, and I agree with you guys. It's a must-win. It's a statement win. You can tag this with whatever you want for the Mountaineers and for the guys that are in that locker room and the coaches. They have to win this game. They got to find a way to win. We were so close in the Pitt game, and we just didn't find a way to win. Tonight, we got to find a way to win. We can't wait for the play to be made. We got to make the play, okay? And I think that's going to happen. I really do. I think this is going to be the springboard. I sure hope so. Because again, it's a must-win. I mean, how are you going to cut that? If you don't get this win, you're 1-3, like you said, Wolf. The walls are falling in. People are giving you all kinds of issues. There's so much distraction, and 1-3 is really tough to come back from, especially when you're getting ready to play in the Big 12. So tonight's huge, man. We got to be on our game. We got to be sharp. We can't let the mistakes eat us up. We got to get past the mistakes, and mistakes are made. Issues happen during a football game. It's all in how you respond. And if we can respond right, and again, to me, it's all about the first quarter. If we can come out there and put points on the board and scare their defense a little bit and throw it on their offense to try to make plays, we're going to win the football game.
All right. Bees, you got anything else you want to say, brother?
I'm predicting a low-scoring game. 24-14 West Virginia.
Okay, Avod.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say thank you guys for having me on the show. It's been enlightening talking to you studs. On the other side of it, I know for sure that we're gonna win this game, and there's no way that we score under 30 in this game. It's just not with the firepower we have on offense. Unless it rains, that's the only way I see us scoring under 30. I mean, I have us like 38-24 winning this game.
Excellent. Smitty.
Hey, let's go Mountaineers, baby. It's W's all day.
No prediction, no score prediction.
Hey, hang on, Wolf. Watch this. Right here. Come here, right here. Right here. Right here. Hey, another Mountaineer legend, baby. Brad Hunt.
Hey, Burley. How you doing?
B Hunt.
Hi, Brad.
Hey, brother.
Hi, Brad.
What's
Hey,
up,
it's
Burley?
Beasley. What's up? What's up, Bees?
Let's go Mountaineers. Let's win the
guys.
game.
Good to see you. Oh, the sun's in my eyes.
Hey, can we get the camera
Right here on
facing
the
out?
deck,
Can we
man.
see
We're
the
having a good
crowd or
time.
something? Can we see the crowd rolling in? Can we get the camera facing the other way, you guys?
No, don't do it. Don't do it, because Bees just want to see what's going on. We're going to keep you in suspense, Bees.
Yeah,
Yo!
Bees is just mad because his car blew up this weekend.
I thought you loved me, AC. Come on, man.
I'll send you some pictures.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks a lot. Avon, you're going to be there tonight, the Red Carpet Lounge, correct?
Yeah, I'm headed that way. I'm about to go pick up my son, and then we're going to come down and drink some cervezas and eat some good food and watch the Mountaineers kick somebody's ass.
All right. Very good. Bees, your car blew up, so you're going to be there at Potsdam, PA.
Yeah, I'll be watching here, sitting here on my mama's couch. I'm gonna watch with my mama. My mama likes West Virginia still, so you know.
That's good stuff. And hey, Burley, Brad Hunt, Mike Fox, you guys are going to be there tonight as well at the Red Carpet Lounge. Are you ready to go for tonight?
Yeah, I'll be here.
You'll be there.
Good seeing you, bro.
Yep, good to see y'all. Come on
All
down.
right, good to see you, champ. Have a good one. Let's go.
Mountaineers. There you go.
Mountaineers, let's go.
Oh,
Mountaineers.
Watch it, Foxy.
Hi, my name's Zach Frazier, and I'm from Fairmont, West Virginia. And when I'm back at home in Fairmont, you'll find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that Golden Boot pride at Parmar. There are literally hundreds of Parmar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Parmar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Parmar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
All he does is catch the football. That is beautiful. That's why I came to West Virginia, man. Ding dong!